Happy Friday and welcome to another edition of your favorite podcast, Burgers and Brats. I've got a great episode for you. Artist from Edmond, Oklahoma, Drew Pearson is here to join the show and also talk some sports headlines from around the sports world. First, make sure you follow on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Pandora, anywhere else you get your podcast at Burgers and Brats. And stay up to date with the latest news on Twitter and Instagram at Burgers Brats. And hopefully you're watching on YouTube right now at Burgers and Brats. Let's welcome in Edmond's own artist, Drew Pearson. Drew, thanks so much for coming on.
Yes, thank you for having me. Appreciate it so much.
Welcome. This is my first time meeting you. I'm sure this is first time for a lot of my listeners. I can say this won't be the last time we hear of you. Listen to some of your music, especially this latest album, which I'm going to talk about here soon. But your music is very, very good. I really like it. I was vibing to it, doing the little head nods, all of that.
Thank you so much, bro.
Really enjoyed it.
That's-
Um, so where can we find you? Your all your music, your socials. Where can we find you?
So you can find like all my music on all platforms. And the artist name is just DRUP. People call me all sorts of stuff. I don't really care what you call me, but you can find all my music there, and then you can follow me on Instagram at _DRUP. Um, and yeah, so that's pretty much it. I don't even got Snapchat or Twitter, any of those. So
You call like Droop a lot or something like that?
yeah, I get called Drup, Drew P, Doctor Up, D Rup, literally everything. But I don't like the last two, but the first three are cool with. But yeah, it originated from Drew P because of just Drew and Pearson, my last name. So,
I
but
like it.
yeah,
I like it. So congrats on the new album called Hope.
thank you.
Find that on any streaming platform, Hope. So tell us a little bit about the album, what went into making it, your inspiration behind it.
Yeah, so there's a lot that went into it. I'll have to do a quick summary because I could talk about it for years. But so
You got all the
yeah,
time in the world. Take
so
whatever you want.
yeah, so last summer, I actually just as far as process, I started experimenting with, just my vocals and stuff, just singing stuff. I can't sing whatsoever. I mean, I could probably get a good like C plus on singing, but so yeah, it's not really my strong suit, but I ended up just experimenting and doing some more alternative based sounds and music and stuff. And so it started, I just randomly did it out of nowhere just for fun. And I asked my three friends in the room, I was like, look, I did this stuff super rough. Tell me if it's trash because I'm not gonna do it if it's trash. So ended up showing it to them. They didn't really like the first two songs. They're like, this is not it, bro. I don't like this. Like, just do your rapping and stuff. And I was like, well, I got one more, so I put a last one. And there's one that still didn't really mess with it, but one of my good friends, he's like, dude, this is it. You gotta go for it. So that's kind of where it started. And from then, that was last March, and basically process. I just like grinded on it all summer, just experimented with a lot of sounds, a lot of instruments, a lot of just the music itself, just a lot of experimenting. And it carried in all the way till around November, and it was actually done in November. I even got to go to Miami and work with some people there just for like two songs. And but it was just incredible, just that whole journey, just the process of making it. A lot of it is really, it's really like, I don't know how to word it. It's really personal. A lot of it contains my testimony, just little glimpses of it, and then other areas are just like stories, or just even just like just positivity, joy, and hope. Overall, hope is said in almost every song. Hope is said, I think, 10 out of the 14 songs. So um but yeah, so it ended. I stopped that, like I was done with it in November, and ended up like literally working on promotion from November all the way up till March, which was really different because normally I like to just drop it pretty quick, or at least like a couple months. But this one, it took pretty much a year. It was like a full year of just working on it. And as far as inspired by, I was easily just inspired, just honestly, like the album is inspired just from my story. That's where a lot of it's pulled from, just my life. And at that time, because at that time it was really hard, even just with 2020 going on and stuff. outside of that, like my personal life was really tough here, just in the household with my family and just like other factors too. So it was like really cool because at that time I felt strongest, like I felt closest like to God and really confident and hopeful. And that actually is kind of what like drove the whole album. And so yeah, and like it was inspired by God heavily. Just my story, God, and yeah, that's pretty much just the quick summary of that. So
Yeah, I feel like a lot of us could relate to 2020 just being an awful year and needing inspiration, needing motivation. And the
yeah,
album did do that, at least for you and for a lot of your listeners as well.
yeah,
And so this is your fifth album, right?
yeah.
So I need you to talk to Drake because we need more albums from him. You're just going left and right off with the albums. You need to talk to Drake about getting some out too.
Yeah.
But you talked about this kind of in the last question. But how much fun is it to make them with? How much fun is it to make your albums?
Yeah. So I'll say they're all kind of different because I don't know. Early on, it was like, I don't know. I didn't take it as seriously. So it was just kind of like for fun and like strictly for fun. I wasn't worried about like people listening to it, just kind of for me. But the first album was like just like a hobby, just pastime. And there wasn't too many people I worked with on that one either. So it was kind of just like my own little like, oh yeah, I'm gonna just do this whenever I have free time. And so that one was kind of weird, but then like I think I had more fun like after like a certain song did really well and kind of like got my name out there a little bit. I was like, oh, like that was kind of the joy from that. Second one was strictly for fun. I was just messing around, like didn't even mean to make it. And it was like 8 tracks, and that took me like 3 months, I think, and dropped that. And yet again, that one was fun because actually, what is it? My like one of the guys who works on a lot of my stuff with me, he goes by K-Sway. We actually live like pretty much in the same neighborhood, and he's always been wanting to do music like at that time. And so he actually like his first song, like, like out on like all platforms was on that second album. And so it was fun. He actually got on two of them. So that one was like super fun because he was in the room like that whole time. And then third album was that one was probably the most fun because I made a point to just get as many features as possible. And so I was working with people all over the place. And I think there is nearly 20 features on that deluxe.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy. So that one was super fun because I just got to like meet a bunch of people and work with a bunch of people. And it was all strictly fun. Like all of it. Recording it, like there's like no meaning. It was just like little like just ideas, and like it was just strictly for fun, just getting hype and stuff. And then fourth one was also accidental. That one was recent too. That was with K-Sway, and that one was probably the second most fun because it was just him and I. We were just goofing around like the whole time doing it because we did every song together on that one. And then Hope was like the overall best like experience because not only was it fun and I got to like venture out and go out of my comfort zone and stuff, but there was like a lot of learning, a lot of growth, and just a lot of other things that more like serious, not as fun. It was just really developed me as an artist, I guess, for Hope for sure. So my favorite would be Hope just because of all the details and all the just crazy things that I was making it. And then I'd say for most fun it's probably my third one because that one was just crazy, had so many songs. But
Yeah,
yeah.
I can relate. Like once you know people are listening, paying attention to you, it's a lot more fun to do.
Yeah.
Make podcasts, make music. It's a lot more
Yeah.
fun, especially when people are interested and people are wanting to come join your songs and wanting to get
Mhm.
features as well. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna ask you which one's your favorite, but I guess Hope is your
Yeah.
favorite.
Hope is definitely, yeah.
So everyone has an origin story. How did you get started in the music industry?
Ooh, I love answering this one. So I have to give props to my friend Grayson Sykes. He and I were into music at age 11. It was actually my mom's cousin put me on like this DJing software called Virtual DJ, and that was kind of the first door that was open. So I'd just do all sorts of random stuff on there, and let me tell you, it was super trashed, so bad. And then I would like my friend Grayson, he was into rapping. I was not into rapping at all. And so he started like rapping on stuff I was doing. And mind you, we're literally in middle school, so bad. And so we did that for multiple years. And he actually started just very off from rap because, just high school and sports and stuff kind of took a toll. And that's just where his passion was. And then I, on the other hand, was like still just wanting to do beats and DJ. And so I did, but it wasn't until like I think freshman year is when I started rapping, and it was so bad, so terrible, like so trash. And I even got to oh, that was another thing is I went in OKC. There is a place called Bistro 46. They also had something called OP Lounge, and they'd do open mics and just live performances and stuff like that. And me and Caseway, that guy I was talking about, we would go all the time just to make connections and just see and stuff. And so I actually made a bunch of connections with people there, and that was super beneficial because a lot of those artists like saw me, and even though I was trash,
Yeah.
they still helped me and gave me information on how to build my craft and stuff. So that was really dope. But then like I think that was another door because I was like I started rapping when I went to that, and then like I started working with people. And then I think at one point it was my senior year is when I finally made like a legit album, or at least I felt like it, because even just with the vocal quality, I didn't know how to mix and master, and I've just self-taught like everything myself. So yeah, so once I learned how to mix and master, I was like, I think it's good enough to go on all platforms. And I also worked with people who I met from OP who have like gotten so much better, and they're actually doing like super good right now. And so that was definitely really clutch, just making those connections. And so from that, it just kept building, like my ability to mix and master, ability to rap, just learning, working with people. It all just kind of came together. And I think, yeah, the first album was when like really felt I was like, okay, like I guess I'm rapping now. So yeah, but before it was all DJ. I would just DJ and try to make beats, and it was the DJing I'm actually impressed with. Like I'll go back and listen. I'm like, that's kind of cool. I did that at like 13 years old, but yeah, the beats were terrible. Rapping was terrible, but yeah, I gotta give props to my best friend because he's the one who kind of got me into rapping, or at least like opened that door for me, and then all the connections and all that. So yeah, it just kind of like even from senior year just continued to just grow all those connections. And it's just working on my craft and stuff even up to this day. But yeah, it's pretty weird how how I went from DJing and spending what like 7 years of just working on stuff, learning, and then finally like doing something. I mean, it makes sense because I was young and stuff, but yeah, so it wasn't until senior year.
Yeah, it's impressive just to be stick with something that long, especially in the music industry if you're not getting the results you want as well. But yeah, connections, that's the most
Yeah.
important thing in life.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's yeah, connections are so crucial for like anything, and I think music has like taught me that like so much. Like, I'm still like in college and trying to get a degree and stuff, and even that it's like told me like or just showed me like how important those
Yeah,
connections are. Wherever you go. So, but yeah.
yeah. And so talking about growing up as well, who was your idol in the music industry and how did that transform you into what you're doing right now with your
Mm.
type of music? I know there's a lot.
Man,
There's a lot to choose from. It's hard.
yeah, I'll be honest though, because I go like before I just listen to so much music. Like I don't know if you can see behind me, but that's on my
Yeah, I see the wall. I like the wall.
and yeah, so I couldn't even like even up to this day, I can't even narrow it down to 10 because they're all different like genres. And so I'm like, I really don't know how to answer that because even at the time, I'll say, okay, when I first started, it was probably like Playboy Cardi because
Oh.
that's where a lot of my sounds like, especially like my third album, like
You didn't like
like
Whole Lot of Red though. Whole Lot of Red was not a
no,
good
no,
one.
no, no, no,
No, yeah.
no, 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 yeah. I'm no longer
He
like I'm
dropped.
sorry. I can't even say I'm a fan anymore. That was bad. That was bad. But yeah, his first two albums are like highly like I definitely like took a lot from it. So and I think it was just because I like that sound. And it wasn't even like that's my favorite. It really isn't. But I just like knew I could do it. So I kind of like leaned into it. But after my third album, I was like, okay, I was like, this is like I'm getting labeled or like as like this Christian Playboy Cardi type thing, and I'm like, nah. I was like, I'm gonna just start doing my own thing. So, in all honesty, alternative has been my favorite ever since I was little. Like, I didn't even really listen to rap like in middle school. It was all alternative, and so, I was like, hip hop's definitely my second favorite, but alternative is like easily my favorite. So even that and like worship, I don't even really listen to. Sounds weird, but I don't even listen to rap that much now. I'll keep up with it, but all the OGs aren't dropping. So, but yeah, so yeah, definitely. As far as I don't know. I guess I was influenced by Playboy just because I could do that sound and replicate it. But even then, like my favorite then was like Kendrick. So I'm like, yeah, and I don't sound anything like Kendrick. So yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say there's a specific. I really couldn't say one because it's I love way too much music. I just can't like. But yeah, I will like the alternative side of things. That is why like that easily heavily influenced Hope because I was like I love alternative and I really wanted to push my limits and try to match that sound. So
So which decade had the best genre of music? So that's 2000s, right? Is that alternative?
yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, I liked alternative in like the tens. It was like 2000s and the tens, and still up to this day, it's still like my favorite. But so are you saying like favorite decade of
Yeah, yeah.
music period or like rap or?
Decade. Or I asked about like rapper, but like I want to know your decade now. But I think I guessed it
Ooh.
with the thousands.
Yeah, I'd
I like
say.
80s. I do like 80s music. I
Yeah,
listen to
no,
like everything besides really country, not really country, but like
yeah.
everything else I listen to. I like the 80s a lot.
That's so tough. I think okay, yeah, it depends what we're talking about because if it's alternative, I think it's gonna be 80s because you just can't beat 80s. Like
Oh,
I know like Michael Jackson's not alternative, but even just the sound then like is
yeah.
just so good. So and even The Rock. So I'd say alternative favorite decade would be 80s. As far as rap is tough too because ooh, I don't know. I don't know. That one's really tough. I think just raw thought if I had to say something, I think it'd be the tens from like 2010 to 2019.
I like
I think
that. I like
that's
that.
that's just my generation. I think that's like a really good like balance of the rap. You still had like you got all the old heads, you got like boom baps, but then you got mumble rap entering and stuff. So yeah, I think that's probably my favorite decade of rap. But yeah, now it's so hard. Me and my friends talk about rap now. We don't think there's been a good debut album since 2019. Like as far as like all these new artists, like we do not like any of them. It's so
Yeah.
bad. We're already turning into old heads, but yeah, it's dope though. I love the tens. That's for rap. 80s for alternative, but yeah.
All right, yeah, I like both those too. I want to go your top five rappers, or yeah, or we'll go top five rappers of all time. I want to give you my list first.
Okay, yeah, let
So
me hear yours.
these aren't like my favorite, but I mean these are top five. I like these guys, but I mean I really like one of them, so that's why he's in my top five. But no particular order. Eminem, I got to. I'm white, so I have to have him in there. Tupac, yeah, you have to have Tupac in there.
You got it.
Jay Z, Jay Z's in there. No, I'll go with Notorious B.I.G. He's in a lot of them, so I'll throw
Yeah.
him in there. And then last but not least, I'll go Drake. I know he can do everything, but
Respect it.
I
No, I
love Drake.
respect it. Yeah, people hate on Drake, and I'm like, you can't, because he's literally the best. Like,
Yeah.
like you can't. I don't know. Favorite for me. Okay, top. I can't answer top. I'd have to really dissect it. There's no way.
I had to look into websites about all this and everything.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, because I think
I mean, these guys were in every single one basically. I threw
yeah,
Drake in there. He's in some of them. I just think he's like the goat of like everything. He can do like it
yeah,
all.
yeah. I think I respect yours. Mine would probably sound really similar to yours as far as like top. But I'll put it this way. My favorite of my generation, or like that's probably what I'll say, because I'm not gonna even talk about Run DMC, all them, like, because like I feel like there's so many levels to that. But favorite and top for me, just personally, in my opinion too, I think it's literally up there. But I think number one, I'm giving it to Kendrick because he's just so cold. I'd
Yeah,
say
he's
Kendrick.
in my top 10. I'll put him in my top 10.
See,
Maybe top 7.
I'll say Kendrick, J. Cole,
Oh, J. Cole.
Drake,
Uh,
And then people probably not going. They're gonna be like, "What for this one?" Lupe Fiasco and
Okay.
ASAP Rocky. Those are
Oh,
probably yeah my top five. If I had to keep that going, I already know my next five. If I had to keep that going, I'd say, "Ooh, I'm gonna get hate for this one." Lil Yachty,
I like Lil Yachty.
um,
I like Lil Yachty.
Vince Staples,
Okay.
21 Savage,
Okay. All right.
Future for sure,
Yeah, yeah, Future.
and then last one. Oh, I don't know what the last one would be. That's tough. Oh, it'd be X. Easily, it'd be X.
Yeah,
But
yeah, I love X. Yeah.
yeah, people sleep on Lil Yachty. I'm telling you,
They
people
do
hate
sleep.
me for that. They're like, dude, what? And I'm like, let me get you 10 songs and I'll change your mind. I promise.
What about
I
Lil
mean,
Uzi?
I respect them, but I don't like it. Like this is another thing. People was like, what? Whenever I said it, but I was like, Eternal Take came out, and a little bit after, I like Love Is Rage 2 more. If they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, Eternal Take is cold. Like Strawberry Peels, like all them songs, the deluxe even is so cold. Like I have high respect for him. There's a lot of like rappers I have high respect for. Like, but yeah, just personally, my favorite, yeah, it's gotta be those. Because I mean, those last five are more favoritism, not
Yeah.
really talent. But the first five, like,
Lupe
yeah, Kendrick,
Fiasco.
J. Cole, Drake, Lupe, ASAP, like they're so talented. They're not only my favorite, but they're cool.
I haven't heard Lupe in a while, but show goes on, man. It's
Hey,
fire. It's still fire.
I'm talking about Drogas Light. Everyone slept on that album. It was like 2017, and there's a bunch of other stuff coming out, but yeah, Drogas Light, top five albums in my opinion. People
All right, I've
sleep
been
on
sleeping. I'm gonna go listen to it. I've been sleeping,
it.
bro.
Shit, bro, it's cold, bro.
Um, so you talked a bit about this too. Especially this last year with COVID and all the hardships and how you've been closer to God and all that. What do you want people to take away from your songs and your albums?
Yeah, so yeah, so like Advantage, that's the one before Hope, and then Hope. I'll just talk about those two because they both have like their own little like meanings behind it. But I'll just say Advantage real quick. That one's just like for fun. So like there's still like elements of like, meaning behind certain songs, like underlying meaning, but overall that one's kind of there for people to like have fun for and stuff. And I think that's a big thing in rap now. It's just like fun rap, I guess. And I think it's really needed, just like you said, just how 2020 went, and even this year, like just going into it, like
Yeah, we're still in
hell,
this. Yeah,
yeah, like a lot
it's
of
two
people are
years.
still struggling, and and it's just like that one is like specifically for like, hey, like take a break, have some fun, like ease your mind, like whatever, like that's kind of what that one's for. Hope, that was more like simple, but Hope is more intricate, where what I want people to take from it is overall hope. That's just like something I just pushed heavily, and not only from like the stories I tell of my life, not like, and there's even a scenario, like a made up thing I did in one of the songs just for like people to relate to. But yeah, it's for like relatability, feeling a sense of hope, feeling a sense of love and positivity. Like that's kind of all I'm pushing with that. But like pretty much hope. It all kind of surrounds around the idea of hope and what that was like for me. And like people have like, I've gotten a lot of comments of, and messages of just like how people have taken it and like certain songs and stuff. And like it's cool because each song has like its own meaning, like its own personal meaning. But like, yeah, as an album as a whole, it's like it all comes together to describe like one feeling, which is hope. And so that's what I just push heavily on that. And the feedback I've gotten has been really, really good because yeah, a lot of people are able to relate and even just like just hear just from me and just like just my stories and stuff. And so it's been really dope. I've really enjoyed that album a lot. So but yeah.
And so, do you have anything dropping soon? I know you have three albums in less than a year.
Yeah.
That's insane. That is remarkably insane. Three albums in less than a year. What are your next steps music wise? What are you dropping? What are you looking forward to?
So if I would just be real with you, so I actually took a break from school this last spring, so the spring semester, and I'm almost I'm almost a junior is like my status right now. But yeah, I took a break just to really just dive into community service, ministry, and music especially. And so I'm going back in the fall is what I've decided, and I wanted to anyways, but I say that because I'm going back into it's mechanical engineering is what I'm trying to get
Wow.
that degree for. So anyone in college or anyone in engineering can say like yeah, that's a big toll. And so I already know I literally can't balance music and serving and involvement and stuff with engineering. It's kind of like one or the other. So I'm pretty much just I'm going to take a big break just throughout the school year. So since I'm aware of that, this is just I haven't even told anybody this or anything, but I'm planning to drop one more album this year.
Oh,
um,
breaking news! Breaking news on the
so
Burgers and Brats
I
podcast.
am. This will be the first time it's even said. I haven't even told my friends or anything, but because I know I'm gonna be super busy in the fall and even in the spring, I really want to focus on that passion of mine. So I am gonna like make sure there's absolutely nothing on my plate. So I'm basically gonna work as hard as I can this summer to get one more.
You have a
And
expectation date for this by end of summer?
yeah, it'll probably be August. And if not then, because there is a chance I won't even finish it, it'll be like half done. I'm gonna have to press pause and then work on it over the break, and hopefully finish it then. If I don't finish it then it'll be summer of like next year. So I know that's like big gaps, but I mean
You
that's
better
just
get this
reality.
done because I'm gonna put on special banner. Drew Pearson comes on. He's got special breaking news for all his
Do it, do
followers and
it. Yes,
listeners.
I
Stay
will.
tuned.
Yeah, I'm telling you because I have plenty of time. May, June, July, and even August. So I got like my track record of my last albums, how quick I do them. I'm pretty sure I could do it.
Yeah.
This one is gonna be more lyrical, definitely rap based. So yeah, I already it's so bad because every time I drop like an album, especially Hope for one like the first time ever, I had nothing on my plate after. Like normally, like all the past albums, it's like I'm getting ready to drop it, I'm already working on the next thing. But for once, Hope, I had nothing. Like when it dropped, I had nothing, and so for like a month, like since the release, like it wasn't until like a week ago I've like started doing new stuff and trying to figure out my next like area I'm gonna like go into, but I've already made all these connections. I've done so much like emailing and stuff for like features and beats and all kinds of stuff. And so yeah, it's already rolling. I already know like a bunch of stuff I'm gonna do and stuff. So yeah, it's gonna be dope. It'll probably be my second favorite album under Hope because the route I'm going is still different. It's not like Hope. It's not like the other stuff. It's like another different something of rap. So it's gonna be interesting to see. But yeah, I'm already working on another one. So
Can't
but
wait
yeah.
for that. We cannot wait. And then just a few more questions before I let you go. What are your goals? Where do you see yourself in the next 5, 10 years? Do you want to be Coachella? Opening up there.
So yeah, I've kind of like that's the thing is like I've had this war going on in my head about with like music because there's like half of me that like it wants to go all in, like just drop everything and just go pursue it for real, and like not only that but make it like a side job as well, or even like my main job of like doing features, mixing and mastering for people, and just working on my music. So there's like one side, there's that, but then like when I take into account of like why I even started it, like the other side is like it's just a hobby, like it's for fun. It's like a release. It's for even just like for me, honestly. That's like even Hope, especially like that album, like I don't really listen to like my old stuff as much, but like yeah, Hope I listen to constantly because it's like it's so personal. So yeah, even like I don't know, there's just those two sides. And so I've kind of decided it's just like since like I am having a decent success for like where I'm at, and like even just like not even doing it like full time or anything, I've just kind of decided like I'm gonna continue to do it. Like I'm never gonna stop because it is a hobby. Like that's one of my passions. But I kind of want to keep it in the borders of a hobby. Like unless something just pops off like crazily, like I'm not gonna, do anything until that happens. And I'm not even expecting that to happen because in all honesty, I'd rather it just stay a hobby and have like a limited like fan base. But like, hey, like if God wants it to like go crazy and like have millions and fans and stuff, like, like if that's really like what happens, like I'm not gonna say no to that. That's part of life, and I'm gonna embrace it. But until that happens, like for now, it's strictly just hobby for fun. It's for others, for me. Like, it's just there. I'm not gonna go crazy on it, but I am also taking it serious because I know it has impact. So yeah, it's just trying to find that balance. But as far as like the next 5 years, I do hope to get a degree in mechanical engineering, and that's honestly the other passion that I have. And so
I've not heard many people say mechanical engineering is my passion. So
yeah, so I am gonna work hard and sacrifice time and years just to get that degree, and I'm really looking forward to that. Just a new step in my life, a new switch, a new change, whatever. But I do hope to become one, and if that doesn't happen, I do see myself really good with vocals. Just I could even be a vocal engineer, maybe even ministry. I could do that, or music. So it's just kind of, I have like all these opportunities, all these passions, and I've just kind of like really just looked at it, and it's like right now, as far as right now, it's engineering and like music for the summer, and then engineering as far as the rest of the year. So yeah, but as far as music, like it's really just kind of up in the air. I'm taking it serious, I'm gonna pour into it, but I'm not gonna let it like just overwhelm me or anything. And that's kind of what I realized, because like when I did start taking it serious, like third album, and like promoting it, doing all the work for people to listen to it, it kind of became like I like really didn't like it at all, because I was like, this is just supposed to be fun. Whoever hears it. And there's like two sides of that, because I'm like, what, I do want to promote it so people can listen to it more, but at the same time, it makes me feel like it's like a business, or like a chore or something. So,
yeah,
but I mean, it comes with it whenever you do have impact. So,
yeah.
it's whatever. But yeah, it's up in the air, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I saw 17,000 monthly listeners just on Spotify. I'd say that's pretty good. At least if you don't spend all your time working on it and promoting it as well. But yeah, like I said earlier, I think we're gonna see a lot of you. And one last question. This one's gonna be tough. One name, just one name, no thinking about it. First name that comes to your mind. Who in the music industry, past or present, would you most want to make a song with?
Ooh, I think that's pretty easy. There is, yeah, that's actually really tough. If I'm gonna go raw thought, not worried about the industry, not worried about anything, but strictly fun,
Yeah, any
creativity.
industry, any genre.
Yeah, one song. I'm hitting up Rory. His name is Rory. He's an alternative artist, and he had a debut album under a big label, and then he actually like I mean, his honest story, I don't know if he didn't meet the mark, or if he just left for his own reasonings, but he ended up leaving, and like it's been hard for him to get out there again. But he's super close friends with Jane Smith, so yeah, he has like that connection, has worked to like he's on like Jane Smith's albums and stuff. But as far as like his own music, like it's my favorite album like as of right now, and it was dropped 6 years ago. But yeah, his name is Rory, and I would easily hit him up first, because like he's really talented, really creative, and I think we can make like a really dope song. That's like my raw thought. But if I'm gonna take into account like industry and stuff, like I'm probably gonna hit up Bieber like a weekend or something. Like if I slapped got a feature from them, like
Yeah.
or was on their stuff, yeah, that'd be ridiculous. I'd go up crazy. So yeah, but if we're talking just genuinely who I'd want to work with most, it'd probably be Rory. So
All right, there you have it.
but
That's it. All right. I would have thought someone else, but all right. I
yeah.
or I don't know anyone, but
Yeah, I
we'll
mean,
see.
I'm saying I would love to work with anybody. I'd be so grateful to work with even like Denzel Curry, or Kendrick, like who it
Yeah.
could be anybody.
Yeah.
That'd be so dope. But yeah.
Well, Drew, thank you so much for coming on. Let everyone your new album, Hope, out everywhere. Where can we find it? Where can we find you?
Yeah. So again, it's on all platforms. Just DRUP, and then Instagram is _DRUP. So that's where you can find me. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, dude. Thanks for taking the time and coming on the podcast.
Yes. Thank you
Best of
so much
luck.
for having me. Thank you.
Ready for that next album. Summertime. Better
Hey,
be coming.
I'm gonna be working on it, man.
Yeah.
You take care, bro.
All right, you too. That was Drew Pearson from Evan, Oklahoma. You can check out his latest album, Hope, out everywhere. He's got that new album coming out during the summer, so that was some breaking news. Hope I'm gonna be listening to that. He is very good. You guys, if you haven't listened to him, you got to go listen to him because he is a very very talented artist. We're gonna be seeing big things from him in the future. Let's move on to our next segment on this day in history. 1947, Jackie Robinson becomes the first African American to play in the U.S. in the major leagues. 1955, the first McDonald's opens in Des Plaines, Illinois. So McDonald's, 2 McChickens, fry, and a large Coke. That's all you need from McDonald's. Thank you for that. Then 1912, the RMS Titanic sinks at 2:27 a.m. Around 1,500 people died. Happy birthday, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Leonardo da Vinci, and Charlie Chaplin. So those are some birthdays. Make sure you follow on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Pandora, anywhere else you get your podcasts at Burgers&Brats. Stay up to date with latest news on Twitter and Instagram at Burgers&Brats. And hopefully you're watching on YouTube. Just watch our last segment with artist Drew Pearson. Make sure you check that out. Some sports headlines to get into. Jamal Murray tore his ACL. He is out the rest of the season. He was averaging 22 points per game, just got back from injury. For the Nuggets are my team, so this does hurt a lot. Um, this team was gonna make to the Western Conference Finals, no doubt. I think we could all say that. This team had a chance of making the finals, especially with LeBron and AD being injured. But now maybe they make it out of the first round. Maybe, probably not. They make it out of the second round. The West is just way too tough this year. Good thing they got Aaron Gordon. I know they're in talks with Austin Rivers. We'll see what happens there. But tough loss for my Nuggets and Jamal Murray. Jadeveon Clowney signs a one-year $10 million deal with the Cleveland Browns. So you got Myles Garrett on one end, Jadeveon Clowney on the other. That's going to be a good tandem. Cleveland needs to build their defense. I expect them to do that in the draft as well. Cleveland, a very good pickup with Clowney. The NCAA is going to allow transfers to play college football and college basketball without sitting out a year and not being grad transfers. So big win for college athletes around the world or around the United States. You don't have to sit out. You can go transfer anywhere you want without sitting out a year. I know we saw last year with one of the players wanting to transfer close to home and play because his mother was sick, and the NCAA would not allow him to do that. But now he can gladly do that, or he already did. But more people can use that opportunity to move closer to home, be with family without sitting out. And then Lamarcus Aldridge just recently, just today, announced his retirement from the NBA. So that's going to hurt the Nets. He was playing very, very well with the Nets this season. He's only been there a few games, but he's been playing well. That is going to hurt their chances a lot for the Eastern Conference. A-Rod buys half of the Minnesota Timberwolves, and rookie Anthony Edwards does not know who he is. Anthony Edwards. This is A-Rod. This is A-Royd. This man is a monster, Bronx Bomber. You need to know who Alex Rodriguez is. That dude is one of the best. He is one of the best hitters. You definitely know who A-Rod is. And then continuing to speak about A-Rod. A-Rod and J-Lo announced they are officially splitting. The engagement is called off. So we're sad to see A-Lo, J-Rod. I don't know how they're called, but sad to see that. Broncos and Seattle and the Bucks are skipping voluntary workouts due to COVID concerns. I'm all for it. I mean, I'm a Broncos fan, but this team does need to spend some time together because they did not look good last year, especially with Drew Lock playing at quarterback. But I'm all for this. Cases are more than they were this time last year. Look out for your safety, your family safety. Take some time off. You guys need it. You guys work a lot. Your bodies go through a lot. And then speaking on the NFL, the Mel Kiper's draft 4.0 was just released. Number one, T-Law to the Jags. No doubt about that. I like that. This is where it gets a little weird. Number two, quarterback, Zach Wilson to the Jets. Zach Wilson, he's a good quarterback, but don't know. They didn't play much competition. He's not. He had great games, but those quarterbacks who go to these smaller schools don't know how to turn out. Mac Jones at number 3 to the 49ers. Yes, Mac Jones ahead of Justin Fields. Mac Jones, Alabama quarterback, is projected to the San Francisco Niners. And then number 4, Miami, trading up to get another weapon for Tua Tagovailoa. Kyle Pitts, the tight end from Florida. It's going to be a good pickup. Kyle Pitts is going to be a monster in the NFL. Number 5, 5th pick, Penei Sewell. I'm sorry if I messed that up. Offensive lineman for the Nittany Lions, projected to go to the Bengals. Bengals get that offensive line help protect Joe Burrow, who is your franchise. 6th, quarterback by the name of Trey Lance. Not Justin Fields. Trey Lance out of North Dakota State, going to Atlanta via the other Miami trade. I don't know if I feel about Atlanta getting another quarterback. They still got Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan's a good quarterback. Don't know how Trey Lance will go, especially being at North Dakota State. Didn't get to play the guys like SEC, Big 12, Pac-12, ACC, Big 10 play. It's not Justin Fields. Justin Fields is a better quarterback. Number 7, Jamari Chase, who set out this last year, wide receiver for LSU, going to the Lions. Get Jared Goff some weapons out there. Kid, he's going to be a great pick, but I don't know how he'll do in Detroit. Number 8, Devonte Smith, heading to the Carolina Panthers. Give Sam Darnold some weapons out in Carolina. Matt Rule is building an offensive juggernaut, it looks like, if they get him. Who knows? He might not last that long. And then number 9, Micah Parsons, inside linebacker for the Penn State, going to the Broncos. 191 total tackles, 18 tackles for loss. Set out this last year. We don't need an inside linebacker. We need offense. We need quarterback. We need a quarterback, okay, Denver? Go get Justin Fields. Number 10, Justin Fields to the Patriots. Let's hope this is not happening because we do not want Bill Belichick having another superstar quarterback and winning Super Bowls with him. Let's try not to let that happen. Then the criticisms for Justin Fields not being having a bad character is just idiotic. That dude is great character, great quarterback, great man. You see that everywhere. People tell that about him no matter what. So I really like Justin Fields. So that's the top 10 of Mel Kiper's 4.0 draft. Next one will be on draft day. So April 29th, I believe. So just 2 weeks away from that. Some NBA news standing. 76ers 1, followed by the Nets, Bucks at 3, Hawks at 4, Celtics at 5, Knicks at 6, Heat at 7, and the Hornets at 8. Hornets still holding on without LaMelo. Hawks are in the 4 seed. Trae Young is balling. In the West, you got the Jazz at 1, Suns still at number 2, Clippers at 3, Nuggets are at 4, Lakers at 5. They're holding their own without their superstars. Blazers at 6, Mavs, and then followed by the Grizzlies at 8. So West is going to be very good. A lot of surprise in the East. I know the Sixers and Nets continue to trade places back and forth. Some games I'm going to pick coming up this weekend. We got the Clippers at the Philadelphia 76ers. The Clippers are 8-2 in their last 10. They've won 6 in a row. Philadelphia 21-5 at home. Yeah, that's a pretty good record. Both pretty even defensively. But can Philadelphia capitalize on their turnovers? They're second best to getting getting defensive turnovers. So can they capitalize getting points off that against the Clippers? I'll go Philadelphia at home to win this one. Clippers have won 6 straight. It's hard to win 7 straight. So I'll go Philly on this. And then Portland at San Antonio. Uh, Enes Kanter has been stepping up. He had 30 rebounds the other night. He had a high number of rebounds the other night. Dame's still a walking bucket, but they are struggling on offense besides him. Offensive is just in the bottom three-fourths of the league. And Spurs need to win to stay in contention. I'll go Spurs on this. They're 3-7 in their last 10 though. Portland only 5-5, but I'll go with the San Antonio Spurs to get the win. Golden State at Boston. Steph Curry is still carrying with 30 points per game. He had 53 this week. Boston is 4-1 and in their last 5, and their only loss to Philadelphia. Golden State is averaging over 120 points per game the last 5, and they had 150 last night against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Golden State though was only 10-18 on the road. I'll go Boston at home. Boston on this one. And then finally Utah at LA. Lakers. Lakers are holding it tough without their 2 superstars. No AD, no LeBron, no problem. A little bit of problem, but not much. Still the 5 seed in the West. But the Jazz are still surprising me as the 1 seed. They're just a better team overall right now. Offense, defense, scoring. Going Jazz on this. So that's some sports headlines from around the world. Let's move into the final segment. Who would you share a burger and brat with? Jersey Mike's. They've donated 100% of its sales from 1,900 stores, and the biggest day of giving in 11 years. They set a company goal for raising $8 million for 200 charities worldwide. They raised $15 million. I know a lot of you guys saw these commercials about Jersey Mike's donating, giving away all their money. They donated 100% of sales, not just the profits. So not just what they make a profit. They donated all sales, 100% to hospitals, youth groups, youth organizations, and food banks. The practice began in 2011, and they've raised over $47 million since then. So sharing my burger and brat or my sub with Jersey Mike's. I might get that for dinner tonight. Thank you all for listening. Make sure to check out Drew Pearson's album Hope out anywhere you find music, anywhere. DRUP, Droop. No, it doesn't like to call that, but check that out on anywhere you can find music. For me, thank you all for listening. Make sure you follow on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Pandora, anywhere else you get your podcast at Burgers&Brats. Stay up to date with the latest news on Twitter, Instagram at Burgers&Brats, and hopefully you just watched on YouTube at Burgers and Brats. Have a good weekend.